Shalom, shalom. All praise to YAHAWASHI, Bashem Rakakadash. Peace, love, salutations to all the Akim, all the brothers out here pushing this truth, risking their lives for the betterment of the nation. I'm going to just get right into this real quick because it's another topic I want to touch on. But right here, because this is deceiving the masses a lot, right? They're like, oh, well, Denzel's leading the church now. He's getting baptized, etc., etc. This is one of Satan's, I'll say the devil's too, because that's the nation of devils we got Christianity from. One of their greatest tricks. Remember, he's going to deceive the nations. The whole water baptism and all this type of stuff and baptizing in the name of Jesus and all that. Man, we got all of that from the Grecians, from the Romans. That's why you don't see none of the prophets or what Christians would say in the Old Testament. That's why you don't see us being dipped all in the water. That don't mean nothing to the Most High. When the Lord YAHAWASHI came on the scene, and we finna get into that, he was edifying them like, yo, look, like, right? And we're going to get into that. I believe it was when he said, excuse me, where he said, where John said, Lord YAHAWASHI got to increase, I must decrease. Yeah, because he's like, yo, he going to come baptize you with the fire, with the word, because the word is what heals. So if we understand what we're seeing, this is all folly, right? How many of y'all have been, this is for those, I hate to say in this truth, but those in this truth, you were dipped in the water. You were baptized in the name of Jesus, but you had no understanding of the scriptures. You were baptized at 10 a.m. and at 3 p.m. you was at McDonald's eating a McRib sandwich. That don't heal you. That's nothing. We got that from the Olympia or the gymnasium days with the Romans, with the Greeks. So when the Lord YAHAWASHI came on the scene, they was mixing in back then Christianity or the worship of Zeus, what they was doing on the altar in Pergamos with our heritage, right? With the Hebrews, or what they would call with Judaism, right? Well, it really ain't no ism because they was mixing it in with our temples. Same during the Maccabean period. We'll get baptized, dipped in the water. Man, that's what they were doing to Zeus. Okay? Now, off topic, that's why also in Hollywood, this is a part of the reason why when they do them rituals, they be in the bathtub dipped in water, or they'll use blood. That goes back to the holly groves back in Rome. Anyway, nevertheless, let me get on topic, right? So, I mean, you can see this here. For those who understand the scripture, we understand that this is straight folly. Do not get it twisted because, you grew up watching Denzel and all that. You don't make that kind of money unless you shake hands with the wicked, right? That's Job 9:24. It's given unto them. So he's going to fool a lot of the masses. And here's another one. Look at this. He got baptized and then licensed to be a minister. Where in the scriptures do you see any of the disciples, any of the prophets, any of the servants, right? You don't see Deborah, Esther, Judith. You don't see none of all of our ancestors, which that's another story, which is really us. We regenerated. We didn't have to go to no seminary school. We didn't have to get, by the power invested in me, by the state of California, you are now, for example, even husband and wife, or you're now a licensed minister. No Edomite, no other nation can ordain you to be a teacher. The Most High puts the spirit on you. Matter of fact, the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. So those of us who's teaching and doing everything now, we was doing it back then. We just regenerated. And that don't mean your Christian pastor, none of that, because it's all folly. See, we're going to go into the scriptures and I'm going to just get right into it. All right. So a lot of people say, well, we under grace. You got to be baptized in the name of Jesus, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, no, nothing new under the sun. When the Lord YAHAWASHI came on the scene, he was letting the disciples, all the Hebrews in Jerusalem, et cetera, know all of this stuff. This is why the Romans and the Grecians was getting mad. Because he was like, nah, bro, I'm going to give you the understanding of the scriptures. Because the word heals. You won't have gout no more, high blood pressure, et cetera, if you use the Most High's cookbook. This is real simple. Matter of fact, let's just get right into it. Since I brought up baptism, let's get right into it. We're gonna go to John, right? Regular John 4. Right here at the top. We're gonna stay right here at the top. John 4 and verse 1, right? And this is what they do, coming up in Christianity, and I'll deal with other religions later, but for the sake of the conversation, because that's where Denzel is, the whole baptism stuff, right? John 4:1. When therefore YAHAWASHI knew how the Pharisees, right, had heard that YAHAWASHI made and baptized more disciples than John. So you see baptized, you think, oh, what does that mean? First off, that means baptized. The real word for baptized means when you baptize with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures. And we're going to get into that in Luke, right? So the Pharisees had heard that YAHAWASHI baptized more disciples than John, right? Verse 2, though YAHAWASHI himself baptized not. The Lord YAHAWASHI, he didn't baptize not one person. He didn't take your head and put his hand on your forehead and dunk you in the water. He didn't do that not one time. It says, but his disciples did that, right? But how did they baptize, right? How and why, right? Now, this is how you get clean. This is how you get clean, not by being dunked in the water, which is a monkey bath. You don't do that. This is how you get clean. We get clean through the word. That's in John 15, right there, verse 3. This is how you get clean. This is why you can have people going out to brunch and strip clubs, starting out OnlyFans the night before, and then they show up in church on Sunday. It happens all the time. This is how you get clean. John 15, verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Because when the Lord YAHAWASHI spoke, he gave you the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what everything means. This is why you can learn more in 30 minutes with an Israelite than you can in 3 years at church. And you be like, oh, I heard that already. I remember Pastor talking about, he said that. He did this sermon already. Like, yeah, they just regurgitating what they learned in seminary school, which is what I call cemetery school. You go there to die, right? So the Lord never baptized. This is how it's done, right? And so, matter of fact, let me get some more of that. In 1 Peter, if we go to 1 Peter and 3, right? I'm going to just get right to it. It's another topic I want to touch. And we're going to get to it about being clean because the word is what heals you. That's what gets you clean, right? If you got a bacteria infection, they're going to go give you amoxicillin or something, et cetera, et cetera. Put some Neosporin on your cut, it's infected. They're going to get you clean. They're going to say, let me clean up those bandages. Let me dress them up. They're going to get you clean. This is how you get clean. Now, once you get clean, obviously by the word, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which also means keeping the law, you got to also have faith. You got to have both. You can't just get dipped in the water and just, I'm saved by the blood of Jesus. No, that water, we got that from the Grecians. That's why it's nothing new under the sun. You didn't see us doing this in the Old Testament. 1 Peter 3 and 21. The like figure whereunto even baptism, right, doeth also now save us, not the putting away of the filth of the flesh, but the answer of good conscience towards Yahweh by the resurrection of YAHAWASHI, right? Like with Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones. Can these bones live? The word, he blew his breath and the word came onto them. Then they was able to live. Somebody got to give you the understanding. One of us who were in regeneration, one of the prophets or disciples, you got to come across. We got to give you the understanding. Then you're clean. This is what the disciples was doing when they was running around. Right? Matter of fact, let's get there. Let's stay in Luke because I said I'm going to go there, right? I think that's Luke 24. Luke chapter 24, right? Luke 24. Matter of fact, this is a cut right here. Luke 24 and 25. Then he said unto them, O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. So he said, oh, fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Meaning, the Old Testament, oh, that's old. Man, you living in the time of the prophets. He's saying, y'all fools, if Isaiah told you in Isaiah 63, 65, etc., he's like, yo, if they told you when I return upon the earth for judgment, if you got pork, shrimp, lobster, crab in your mouth, I'm thrusting you through with a sword, you don't believe it? They didn't believe it because the Lord was standing right there in front of them. He was like, absolutely, I'm going to do that. So I'm not going to die for you to do it. It don't make sense, right? Let me get down to my point. Luke 24 and 44, right here. This is being baptized right here. Luke 24:44. And he said unto them, and these are red letters. This is the Lord YAHAWASHI talking. These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, everything not fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, all that's not fulfilled because there's prophecies written in there, and in the prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Amos, all the rest of them, they talk about the destruction and everything that's coming here, and in the book of Psalms concerning me. He's saying all that got to be fulfilled. You go through the book of Psalms, you go through the prophets, all them prophecies not fulfilled. So if the prophets say, look, they talk about what we did in the Grecian times, the Roman times, or Babylon the Great here, and how everything's folly. You're not supposed to be selling Christmas or your birthdays or eating different foods. And he say the Lord gonna destroy you. What the Lord just say? All things that were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the book of Psalms concerning me must be fulfilled. Meaning I'm going to fulfill it. You don't have to agree with it. Now this is being baptized. Look at verse 45. Then opened he their understanding. So it says, then he opened their understanding. You see the word there? That's a possessive pronoun. He opened their understanding that they might understand the scriptures. The Lord baptized them right then with the word. Remember, you're going to get baptized with fire, right? Once you get the understanding of this word, right? Once the disciples, you go out teaching, you go out healing, you go out doing all this stuff, you're going to also go through them heavy trials and tribulations. You're going to get baptized in that fire, right? When you want to come serve the Most High, that's why it says prepare your soul for temptation. This is being baptized. It's not being dunked in no water. We got that from the Edomites. So everybody you see doing that, yeah, they are Christians. They worship Zeus, same today as they worship Zeus back then. The Lord YAHAWASHI and the disciples came on the scene saying, yo, don't do that. Okay, let me keep going. Verse 46, right? And he said unto them, thus it is written, and thus is, behold, Hamashiach to suffer and to rise from the dead the third day. So he's saying, look, all this stuff got to happen, right? And that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name, and YAHAWASHI, among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. Why must it be preached in all nations? That was part of the prophecy. As we go back up to 44. Everything must be fulfilled. Well, what was part of the prophecy that was going to happen to the Israelites in the end times? Let's stay in Luke. This is why why us now, we regenerated. People thinking this, we in a cult or it's a different doctrine, etc. This is why this word is going to all four nations, because we were unto all nations, because we were scattered into all nations. Let's stay in Luke. Let's go to verse 20. I want to get straight to it. Verse 24, Luke 21 and 24, right? And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives into all nations. So he giving us prophecy. Y'all gonna go into captivity into all nations. So in the end times now, he's saying the word gotta go into all nations. Why? Because it gotta go to the Israelites in those nations. And this is why you have the scriptures, the Bible, in different languages. The Most High ordained that. That's the prophecy. We just read that in the Psalms. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem, the Israelites, shall be trodden down of the heathens, the Gentiles, the Romans, the Grecians, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled, until their wickedness is being fulfilled. Matter of fact, since I just stated that, let me get right into that. Let's go to Psalms, right? If we go right to Psalms, I think that's Psalms, is it 107 or 105? I think it's Psalms 107 and 20, right? This is part of the prophecy that the Lord just mentioned. Everything that's written. And he sent his word and healed them. That's how you get clean. Not by dunking, not by being baptized in the water. So if any Israelite telling you you need to be baptized, you do not. They still Christians. They left Christianity and they mixing that back in like they did back in Rome. They're bringing the worship of Zeus back into our temple, right? He sent this word and healed them and delivered them from their destructions. Possessive pronouns again, right? As a matter of fact, if we stay in Psalms, let me get some more of that. if we stay in Psalms, we can go to Psalm 68. We'll bring up the prophecy about, we're going to bring up the prophecy that the Most High was talking about when he ordained, for example, King James. The real King James, not the one that they teach you about in school. Remember, the Edomites going to give you lies. It's his story. They're going to tell, well, King James, oh, he was gay, or he was this, he was homosexual and slept with his sister, he did this. Why would you ever listen or trust anyone who's had you in slavery for over 500 years? He was at war with the Edomites, with the Grecians, with the Romans. He was at war with them, right? Look at Psalm 68 and 11, right? And Yahweh gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. So those of us who speak English now, right? You got some Israelites who speak Spanish or who speak different languages that are scattered amongst the spoils of the earth, right? The four corners. Some might be in South Africa. Some might be in, I don't know, Zimbabwe, Ghana. Some might be in different places. Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Puerto Rico. We speak different languages, right? Some might be in Germany. Some might be in China, Japan. The Most High put it on certain spirits of the prophets to translate it. He put it on King James, right? And all those 45 translators, 45 to 50 of them that went all the way back to the Arabic and the Paleo Hebrew to translate it to English to the best of his ability. That's why some of us can read these same scriptures right now, and because most of us have been brainwashed into Christianity, you can't understand it, but we can. Because the priests, prophets, disciples, etc., it's in the regeneration. The Lord brought that up in Matthew and in Luke. Okay? So this is why. This is why. Matter of fact, in the end times, let's see if it's talking about being baptized, because that's the topic that I was on. But even if we go to Matthew 25, right? This is proof that knowledge, wisdom, right? Wine and oil, that's what it means. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, meaning those who are keeping the law. This is the Israelites. These are the ones who have the understanding and who are going to go into the marriage with the Lord YAHAWASHI, who are going to go into the marriage with the bridegroom. And those who don't have it, so you can get dipped like a monkey bath all you want. That's why I said they blind leaders of the blind. Let them go. I'm going to let them all fall into the same ditch because you know better. At some point in time, you've heard one of us give you the correct understanding and your feelings rejected it. It does not matter. The Most High don't work that way. He does not care. He don't change for Shaniqua or DeMarcus. It don't matter. He said what he said, right? Look, parable of 10 virgins, right? Matthew 25 and 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet YAHAWASHI, the bridegroom. 5 of them were wise. And the only way we get wisdom, that's Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 6, is by keeping the law. That's it. You still got to have faith, of course, right? That's why in the book of James, I'll get that. He said, show me your faith without works, and I'm going to show you my faith by my works. Meaning, by me keeping the law, I'm showing you I know I'm good. Right? That's what that means. Now, you ain't going to be able to do and keep everything because we're in captivity. But that's where your faith and your grace and stuff comes in. Right? I'm going to get to another video later where somebody's circulating around talking about, well, we know Christmas pagan, but let us have our grace. No. Your grace is you not being stoned to death. That's your grace. Because the judgment is you being stoned to death. The grace is you're not dying. That don't mean you keep doing it. For example, what the Lord tell that woman when they was about to stone her. He said, he who hasn't sinned, he who ain't, broke the law. He said, well, cast the first stone. He said, yep, the judgment is death. Yep, she's an adulteress. Yep, she's a whore. I agree. Stone her. If you ain't done nothing, stone her. Meaning this year, since atonement, that's what he was getting at. Since atonement, if you ain't done nothing, go ahead, stone her. Yeah. That's the grace. He was like, go, what did he tell her? Go and sin no more. He didn't say, go, you got grace. You can keep doing Merry Christmas and Happy Thanksgiving until the Lord come back, until I come back again. No, he said, go and sin no more. Now that you know better, now that you've heard, you can't do this, you can't do it no more. That's your grace. Right? So, for example, if somebody told you, hey, Christmas is Saturnalia. It's the worship of Nimrod, of Satan. That's when he died and was reborn, etc. And they act like, he was in a tree. That was December 25th. That has nothing to do with YAHAWASHI. Stop doing it. And you say, okay, and you roll your eyes, your grace is over. People forget that. Once you understand, your grace is over. That's it. All right? Now let me get into this. Here's those who are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Verse 2, and 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. I'm under grace. I'm dipped in a monkey bath like Denzel. I ain't got to keep the law. I can go eat chitlins and all that and ham on Christmas Day. They ain't got no oil with them. They ain't keeping no law. They have no knowledge, wisdom, understanding. They ain't keeping no holy days. They keeping the holidays. They keeping all of Satan's days. They ain't keeping none of the Most High's days. So, okay, you a Hebrew. Well, we the Hebrew people. You know that. Even the Moors know that. Oh, yeah, we the Hebrew people. We the Moors. Okay, but they ain't got no oil with them. Watch what the Lord gonna do. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. We light filled. While the bridegroom tarried, like YAHAWASHI, right? He ain't back, right? They all slumbered and slept. And at midnight, there was a cry made, right? Every eye shall see and hear, etc. Behold, YAHAWASHI cometh. Go ye out and meet him. Them chariots gonna pull up and pick you up. Wherever you at, your house, you might be at the gym, it don't matter. During World War III, they're gonna pull up on you. They're gonna be the ultimate pull-up boys, right? Verse 7. Then all those virgins, he's talking about the Israelites, right? It ain't talking about real virgins. See how minds have been corrupted here? Right? It's talking about the Israelites, right? And that additional prophecy and parable and precept is in the book of Revelations. Where it talk about matter of fact, I'll just get there. It talk about the virgins who we not gonna bend the knee. We're not gonna bend the knee to Zeus. We're not gonna bow down. We ain't gonna take that mark of the beast. We ain't gonna do all that. He said, they unfulfilled, and in our mouth is found no guile. Meaning, you better listen to what they telling you. This is it right here. Then all those virgins arose and we trimmed our lamps, right? And the foolish, so he called them foolish. Yes, they Hebrews, but he called them foolish. The foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil for our lamps are going out. Wait, what's going on? You should have seen the panic and the influx in our inboxes, YouTube, Rumble, phone, email, when COVID first popped off. Everybody was panicking. Just imagine when Jacob's trouble intensifies. They gonna panic. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to work? Do I take the vaccine? What am I gonna do? They were panicking. It's gonna be several times worse. That's what verse 8 saying. The foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are going out. They're gonna blow your phone up. What am I supposed to do now? Call me. Oh, what is this? What does this verse mean? Where am I supposed to be? My pastor didn't tell me that we weren't supposed to take this shot. My pastor didn't tell me that I wasn't supposed to eat pork. Verse 9, but the wise answer saying, not so, meaning no. Now this is red letters. So this is the Lord YAHAWASHI telling the disciples and everybody, this is what y'all gonna do. During that time, it could be your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your brother, your cousin, your child, your husband, your wife, son, daughter, co-worker. He's saying, this is what y'all gonna do because y'all with me. He said, you gonna tell them? No, right to their face. You need to go and go through what we went through. Get these belts on your back like we did. Get this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Because remember, you got to go through the fire. People forget that. You got to go through the fire, right? You're going to have to go through these. You're going to go and get it on your own. This is what the Lord YAHAWASHI said we are going to say. Remember, all things must be fulfilled. So if he said we're going to say it, it's going to happen. Verse 9 again, right? But the wise answer saying, no, lest there not be enough for us and you. Meaning, bro, I got my house to take care of. Where were you 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years? Where were you when we first started dropping all this knowledge when the Spirit got back on us? Where were you 15 years ago? You were laughing with your friends, pillow talking all in bed. Man, they in the court, man. I'm going to eat my pork. And then letting your husbands and wives do Christmas and all that up in your house. Where were you then? He said, no, not so. It's not going to be enough for us and you. But go rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Meaning you going to go through the same thing we went through. But it's too late. Because now everything popped off. Jacob's Trouble, World War III. The dollar going to crash. You ain't going to have no jobs. Right? Verse 10. And while they went to buy, yeah, go flip open your scriptures. Then try to go back to the Lord. Right? Come here, the Most High says, those who find me early. Those who seek me early. Don't try to come to me now that COVID just popped off. Right? Like a lot of people. Nah, what you doing? You been knowing you was an Israelite, right? You been knowing you was the Hebrew people, right? Yeah. What you doing? Don't come to me now. Don't come to me now when things pop off and now you just, your 401k been wiped out. Now you want to come to me? Nah, the Most High don't work that way, right? And while they went to buy, YAHAWASHI came. And they that were ready, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, right? They that were ready went in with him to the marriage. So that's his bride. Them the Israelites only. Remember, it's 12 tribes. For the 12 tribes, it was 12 gates. Went into the marriage with him and the door was shut. That's it. It's shut. Look at that, verse 11. This is everybody. Well, I'm baptized in the water. I did this. Afterwards, also came the other Israelites, right? Saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily, I say unto you, I don't know you. I don't know you. You was praying and worshiping Zeus. You was doing Thanksgiving, and Christmas. You was doing Happy New Year when I told you, but New Year start in the spring. You didn't do the work. That's what he's going to say. That's what they're saying. All right. So just getting back to that. I mean, hey, there's lessons within lessons because I was really just going on the baptism, right? John 4:1 again. When therefore the Lord knew how the Pharisees, so YAHAWASHI knew how the Pharisees, that's the Christians today. That's literally the satanic Roman Catholic Christian church today. Y'all the Pharisees. Because they weren't keeping no laws. They was mixing in Greek and Greek mythology and all that with Jerusalem, with the temple, like they do today. Right? It's trunk or treat at the church. What does that have to do with the Most High? This is what he's talking about. And the Pharisees, that's y'all. So when YAHAWASHI knew how the Pharisees heard that YAHAWASHI made and baptized more disciples than John, but YAHAWASHI himself, he baptized not, but his disciples. I got you with this word. They don't understand nothing. They don't know that those over in that, number one, they don't know that all these Edomites was the devil. Number two, they don't know that, for example, I hate Christmas. Right. Look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna just get right to it. Here it is right here. You have to research. There's nothing new under the sun. Every single captivity, the Most High had to come down. Well, he had to come down, but he tapped the Israelites on their butt and had to say, stop celebrating Christmas. Nimrod, Saturnalia, stop doing it. And look, the Lord YAHAWASHI said the same thing in Revelation chapter 2, verse 14. You just got to research it. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel. That's your black magic, witchcraft, tarot card, manifesting, all the different spells and all the stuff, y'all. The vision board you do every year, right? These are the things that they was doing. He said he hate these things, right? Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols and to commit fornication. That's physically and spiritually. That means you got them over there worshiping Zeus and Alexander the Great and see, you got them over there doing that, and you know who I am. You know they my children. That's what Balaam and Balak was doing. Go back to the book of Numbers, right? Verse 15. So hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans. This is old Saint Nick. Look it up. They were lawless. They taught the Israelites to be lawless. They were Edomites. This is all in Rome, all their provinces. This is where old Saint Nick comes from. This is when they first put on a red suit, a hat, chimney, and all that. He said, which thing I hate. So the Lord YAHAWASHI told them again, I hate that. So this baptism, going into Christmas, I know that's coming up. Those are things the Most High hates. None of that stuff is things we were doing. You got that from the Grecians, from the Edomites, from Amalek and them. So with that, Shalom.